Right, so let's solve some examples to understand this better. Right, this is again a single blank question. Pause the video, try this question on your own, and then let's see how we have to solve it. Hope you have passed and tried. What we'll do is we'll give you one more thing. Now try again, because we're giving the meanings of these words also. Right, so see if you want to change your answer. Hope you have tried on your own. Now let's discuss this. Again, as I said, the first step is to not look at the options. So I won't look at the options, right? I will not look at this part. Let me look at this part about. In India, cricket is the most popular sport by several orders of magnitude. Right? Whereas, so this is a pivot word I have here. In Australia, fandom is fairly evenly dashed among a few different sports. So what is the keyword here we're talking about? I would say the subject would be the sports in general, right? The sports following, etc. What is the clue that we are talking about? So in this statement, it is saying that cricket is most popular sport by several orders of magnitude in India. That is what I'm saying as a behavior in India, right? So the clue is all about which sport is most popular in India. It is cricket. Whereas, right? Whereas, so that's like a counter pivot, right? In Australia, fandom, that is otherwise the popularity, is fairly evenly dashed among a few different sports. So unlike in India, that's what the whereas basically, right? It's a negative pivot. In Australia, I don't see similar thing. That is only one sport is being popular. In India, that's what the situation is, right? There's one sport. That's what the statement says. Cricket is the most popular sport by several orders of magnitude. That's like drastically, it's way ahead of the rest of the sports that being followed in India. Whereas, so that's the point, it's about sports following, right? In India, the behavior is just one sport. They followed, like the huge fan base of one sport. That's what this first statement is saying. So whereas is basically is like saying, okay, that's not what you see in Australia. So in Australia, the sports following should not be just one sport. It should be multiple sports. That's what the statement should be about, right? Because that's why the word whereas would fit in. In India, the sport following is all about one sport, whereas in Australia, the sport following is about multiple sports. Fairly evenly, I would say equal, distributed, something like this. Those are the correct words, right? Whereas the fandom is fairly evenly distributed. I mean, some of them like cricket, some of them like rugby, some of them like football, soccer, etc., etc. So that's why fandom is fairly distributed or equal among the few different sports. That is a suitable word. Now let's get to the blanks. Regarded is considered or viewed or seen, I regard him highly or something. So regarded, considered, I don't really see that fitting here. Okay. Inspired, again, it's not like inspired is you look at someone and get inspired because they are of some superior level of whatever the quality of extraordinary quality. Some, it gives an impulse for you that you get inspired by someone for something. So again, I don't see that being, equal distributed sort of it. Doesn't fit in the sentence either. Enjoyed, fandom is fairly evenly enjoyed, take delight or pleasure. I don't see that fitting over there as well. You can say that the fandom enjoys sports equally or something, but that's not fitting over here either. Measured, carefully considered and restrained. That's, like I take a measured approach. So I consider all the possibilities and then take a careful decision. That's what measured is. Whereas the fandom is fairly evenly measured. I mean, there's nothing that would even make sense in this. Apportioned is divide and share, right? That's like splitting, dividing stuff. So that fits, right? I'm talking about distributing equally, etc. Is fairly evenly apportioned among a few different sports. Fairly evenly divided among a few different sports. So this is the best option I see out of the lot. So that's why I'll select option E for this. It makes it much easier to do this way. Even though this example you might have done another way and you got it, but I strongly recommend you to follow this approach where you don't see the options. Look at the blanks, try to understand the key subjects or the key theme that's being talked and the pivot words, and then based on which fill the blank with your own words and then see which would be that word that would satisfy it. And as I said, even if this one option was the first option, do not stop it. Look at the rest of the options and make sure that the rest of the options are not making as much sense as this correct answer that you feel.